What's going on, everybody? It's your boy DJ coming to you with my GPL recap from week 2. So, last week I lost the Trancel, and then this week I had played against Shadow, really great opponent, and I just wanted to give you the breakdown of this match and also just discuss what was going on for my match tonight against Nitro. I know I'm a little late in the week, however, with this being said, the new Call of Duty Battle Royale came out, been playing a bunch of that. All this coronavirus nonsense has been making my life a jumbled mess. So it is what it is. If I mess anything up, sorry about it. I'm still new to this whole recording videos and whatnot. Before I go on, I just want to show my shirt of the week. It's got Brett the Hitman Hard on it. It's not a vintage shirt, but it's actually from the YouTuber Big Boy Johnny. He's part of the Richie Lee YouTube, so they make real thick, quality, vintage-looking shirts that aren't secondhand. So if you don't want to actually buy a secondhand shirt, great place to go look it up. So before I do anything, let's just get into it and watch my battle against Shadow. So Shadow's an insanely good player. He won the GPL in season 0, which was like the test season. So this was something I was kind of worried about. I had a game plan, but I hadn't really tested my team out much, and I knew Shadow had like all the potential to actually wreck me because he's actually a good battler, and so I really want to play on top of my game. And so I let out Dragapult, which probably wasn't the move. Yeah, it was kind of rough, but I knew Incineroar was going to come, so I had to switch to Weezing. He knocks off here, which wasn't great for me, but it's not also terrible for me. He switches out to Duraludon. I knew I had to get spikes up, as you'll see later in the battle. That was crucial into my plan. So I knew that Duraludon was most likely going to be a choice set, so I protect here and switch to my AV Caparaja. This thing just tanks all sorts of stuff, man. He's a beast. So here was a big play. I knew that Mudsdale. I knew a switch was coming. I wanted to get into a better position, so it was time to bring out Dragonpult again. On this set, this Hex set put in so much work. I don't think Shadow is actually ready for it. I probably shouldn't have let Earthquake go off, and the disable is really helpful for me, so I can't really be upset by that. So I knew I couldn't take 2, but Girder with Eviolite is thick. I got lucky on the switch here. Duraludon didn't have a great matchup, but he brings in Incineroar, which is kind of weird for me because I felt as though um, it just didn't make sense because I could Drain Punch here basically for free, and then he switches back to Duraludon, which also didn't make sense. Girder, even though it's a second Evo, has over 300 attack, so it's still hitting mad hard. So I was just cycling between Protect and Drain Punch. This made it so that way with the choice items that Duraludon was using, I was going to know what he was going to use, so that way I was in a better position. He brings out Incineroar. It kind of seemed like a good time for a knockoff to get rid of the Eviolite, so I switched to Weezing, who already had his item knocked off. Here I'm like, let's get another set of spikes up, I believe. Yeah, so now anytime somebody switches into it, they're badly poisoned. Once again, let's find out what move he's going to use. So he uses Draco Meteor again. Here's where I was actually kind of surprised. This double here didn't make too much sense to me, and then I had remembered last time I switched to Caparaja. I was actually sacking Weezing, but it worked out in my favor. So I go to Seismitoad. So I found out after the battle he was actually running dual specs. Um, I mean, good for you. I didn't expect dual specs to come out. So yeah, I don't know what to say other than that. I wasn't expecting that. So then I go back to Dragapult knowing I can outspeed this thing. Um, it's kind of so here was a free sub for me or a free hex. Almost all his mons had a status at this point, and so I knew that I could sub protect stall this thing out and get rid of this Incineroar. And once I got rid of Incineroar, I was pretty sure Dragapult was just going to like sweep the rest of everything that comes through. And so at this point, I'm only losing 25 health per sub. I'm gaining that back up with leftovers with the protect, and he's decreasing by poison. So he switches here to Duraludon. I get a free sub up, which I think he thought I was going to protect there, but I kind of suspected a switch, and so the sub was really important for me. I get rid of Duraludon. This also shows that he wasn't Scarf, but I'm an idiot and still like scouted for the Scarf later in the game. I don't know. But here I'm just like taking lives left and right because everything has a status on it. Every time something came in, I was getting a kill. So the Hex strategy was really working. At this point, I think he knew his only win condition out was Grimmsnarl, and I'm not gonna lie, Grimmsnarl scared me shitless in the um Dynamax form. I actually thought he was gonna Dynamax there and go straight into trying to get through the protect. Um so I should have subbed last turn, but he didn't. I was actually really uh taken aback about how long he waited to Dynamax. I believe it's either this turn or next turn he actually goes for it. Yeah, so I really thought, I was like, wow, I'm just waiting for him to Dynamax because if not, he's going to die basically of poison. And right when I switch is when he switches to Dynamax, which is, I mean, it is what it is. My Weezing gets drowsy. I know I can protect here. Oh no, I thought I was gonna fall asleep. That's right. I thought I was gonna fall asleep first turn. I'm still getting new to some of these Gmax forms, so I used Sleep Talk. It didn't really work out in my favor that way, but I did outspeed Grimmsnarl with that. So here is where I know I can protect, stall out this Dynamax, which I do pretty well. And then I know that Mach Punch actually kills from this range. I'm like 90% sure. And so I go for that. And at this point, I think the game's over because I don't think he has an answer for my Dragapult. Um, this was bad for me though because Dusclops didn't get poisoned because of the Misty Terrain. So I had to figure that out. But then he kind of gave me a free play by trying to Toxic in the Misty Terrain. And I knew that at that point I was going to win with this Dusclops. And from here, I think it was just pretty easy. It was just knockoff. And then I think Mach Punch, and the game was over. Maybe. I'm not entirely sure. I might have switched here. No. Yeah, so you see in the chat, I had said GG's at this point. There was no way, so I was just trying to preserve differential. Um, Knowing that he was Specs, I knew that he couldn't touch my Dragapult. Hex here kills, and then Hex also kills the Duraludon. So, I mean, all in all, it was a great game. Shadow's a great battler. He had a big flaw that I just happened to really take advantage of, and I think that he's fixing that and rectifying that on his team. So I expect that he'll do great for the rest of the season. We talked about it. We both played kind of crappy, but I mean, it was still a good battle nonetheless. I was happy to showcase like a fun strategy that me and some people who work on these teams, we kind of talked about a fun strategy on how to play. So nonetheless, I just want to say good game to Shadow. So my next week's opponent is actually Nitro. Nitro beat my friend Pelly in last season. I know he's 0 for 2 this week, but you can never underestimate an opponent. So we're playing that game in about 6 hours from the time of the recording, or 9 p.m. Eastern time on Saturday. Nitro's good. He has some pretty cool mons, I guess. He doesn't really have a core that makes much sense to me, so I'm kind of struggling to team build around a little bit. But I think all in all, it'll be a great game to watch. But all I can say is I had fun. Just expect some more fun strategies to come out. I'm just trying to look to do the fun things and not necessarily play super serious. My MVP of this week was actually, I was going to give it up to Dragapult, but I feel like that was too simple. So I'm actually going to give it to Girder. I think Girder took out two Mons and pressured two other ones basically to death. And so even though Dragapult was throwing down the hexes left and right, Girder was like my win condition for a lot of it. So that's my MVP from this week, and I hope y'all all come out and watch my game. We'll send the link in the chat. So if you made it through these 10 minutes of scuff recording, as always, just thank you. I just wanted to go through my review on why I made the plays that I played and why we did what we did and whatnot, and maybe just so that way I can inspire other people to make some creative sets or to have some strategies that aren't the normal, oh, let's give it a life orb or let's give it a choice specs. I will say Shadow running dual specs kind of threw me off guard. He was just every time just trying to drop the hammer on me, so I was glad I didn't caught up in that trap. So thank you for watching, everybody. I highly recommend, if you don't already, go watch the other videos of people in the league. The league's really going off well right now. With this win, I got put into like the playoff, but we still got plenty of time for me to either lose that or get it back. So all in all, it's just I love Pokemon leagues. I love playing with these fun sets, and I love our team. Or not our team, but our league members that we're playing with. It's a really great crew. It's very interactive, and so I just love to watch your replays. And if you guys have any questions for me or suggestions, feel free to hit me up in the Discord. Mwah! Love you all.